This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. And if I need a word to help me, he will give it to me. And if I need a thought, that will he also give. And if I need but stillness and a quiet, tranquil mind, these are the gifts I will receive of him. He is in charge by my request, and he will hear and answer me, because he speaks for God, my Father, and his Holy Son. Good morning, and welcome to the Holy Instant, a time where we can reconnect with God, our source of strength and power and peace and love. I'll be guiding you through some of the Course meditations and lessons that are found in the Course in Miracles workbook. I've been studying the Course for over 30 years now, and have been through the workbook many times. It is suggested that you do a workbook lesson once a day through the course of a year. There are 365 lessons. And as I've mentioned before, this is quite difficult because many of us lack the time and opportunity to actually do this. And there are also suggestions where you are asked to stop every hour for 5 minutes to focus on the daily lesson. And I know that that is extremely difficult. So my solution, which is one of basic willingness, is to at least study a lesson every morning. And even that can be difficult. Some of the lessons are quite long. So I've thought about that and would like to introduce other people to the course. You could start with the text, which is very thick. You could start with the workbook for teachers, or the manual for teachers, pardon me. Or you can start with the lessons. And in this case, I'm just giving you some lessons randomly to expose you to some of the wonderful ideas that are contained in the course. So today I'm going to focus on Lesson 47. God is the strength in which I trust. So I'm going to read a bit to you from the lesson and give you a bit of commentary, and hopefully you'll be exposed to some of these ideas and find some peace and love and trust. So I will begin to read to you from the lesson. God is the strength in which I trust. If you are trusting in your own strength, you have every reason to be apprehensive, anxious, and fearful. What can you predict or control? What is there in you that can be counted on? What would give you the ability to be aware of all the facets of any problem and to resolve it in such a way that only good can come of it? What is there in you that gives you the recognition of the right solution and the guarantee that it will be accomplished? Of yourself, you can do none of these things. To believe that you can is to put your trust where trust is unwarranted, and to justify fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and sorrow. Who can put his faith in weakness and feel safe? Yet who can put his faith in strength and feel weak? God is your safety in every circumstance. His voice speaks for him in all situations, and in every aspect of all situations, telling you exactly what to do to call upon His strength and His protection. There are no exceptions, because God has no exceptions, and the voice which speaks for Him thinks as He does. And now I will offer my commentary. That short section offers us a great taste of some of the language devices that the Course uses, and some of the wonderful arguments and comparisons that the Course uses. You'll notice the beginning is asking about whether you should trust in your own strength. And they list all of the reasons why this is going to fail by trusting in your own strength. And then in the latter section, it focuses on trusting in God's strength. And it sort of turns that original argument on its head, listing all of these things that reasons why you shouldn't trust in your own strength, and then gives you those same arguments in reverse as to why you should trust in God's strength. And I find those methods, those language methods, very powerful. They make you think, and they reveal to you some of the attributes of God. Now, as the lesson goes forward, they mention that we are trusting in the strength of God, but in many ways that is trust in ourselves, since we are part of God, that we are contained within God, that God is contained within us. So let me read you the last section where they sort of bring all of this together. So I will begin to read the lesson now. In the latter phase of the practice period, try to reach down into your mind to a place of real safety. You will recognize that you have reached it if you feel a sense of deep peace, however briefly. Let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind, and reach down and below them to the kingdom of heaven. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There is a place in you where the strength of God abides. So I thought I would share this lesson with you and give you the contrasts that occur in the language of the Course that sort of open your mind to the strength and power of God in your life. And then that little section in the end where that source of strength we find is within us and can be touched by our minds. So I hope that you enjoyed this short introduction to the Course in Miracles. If you are a new student to the Course, I welcome you. If you are a person who has studied the Course over many years and maybe hasn't read all of the lessons or done all of the lessons, I would also invite you to join me and touch on these lessons. Or if you've been a student of the Course for many years and maybe only gone through the lessons once and then sort of focused on the text in groups and meetings and whatnot, I invite you to join with me in these short lessons, meditations, introductions to specific lessons in the workbook in random order. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.